Howdy folks, and welcome again to the chefandthegrape.com. Obviously, it's Casual Friday, and I'm your host, Chef Christoph. Today we're talking about Bordeaux style blends, but from a very different place than most of us would expect to be looking for Cab Sauv driven wines from Virginia. And the winery in question is Tremp Winery, which I understand how there are some people who have obviously some very mixed feelings about Trump Sr. However, this has really nothing to do with him except for his name. We're talking about wine, folks, and this is not political. It's grape juice. So let's leave the politics at the door and let's just talk about the wine. So loyal readers will know that I've written about Trump Winery before, and I have the utmost respect for what they're doing, especially with their sparkling wine production. Trump Winery, the first winery in Virginia to score 91 points from Wine Spectator. No small achievement, right? 91 points to me. I probably only score 30% of the wines, 20 or 30% of the wines that I taste are 90 points or above. So, and let's be honest, people are usually making sure that the wines they send me are pretty damn good. So, so 91 points is no small achievement. The first one I wanted to talk about was the Meritage, actually. So here's the label. I like the label. Clean, classic, looks good. Meritage, for those who don't know, the name came about a mixture of American and heritage. But really, folks, we're still just talking about a Bordeaux style blend. So Cab Sauv, Merlot, hopefully some Cab Franc thrown in there. This is relatively new. This is 2013 vintage. So I don't think it could have spent more than 12 months in oak, maybe 14 months. They say actually Cab Sauv, Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. Well, so that's amazing because that actually is a true full Bordeaux blend. However, to be honest, I wasn't terribly impressed. If you look in the glass, not sure how much you guys can see of this, but it's a little dull and lifeless. Usually, especially in a wine so young, I'd be looking for a little bit more perk, a little bit more zip to it. On the nose, I mean, it offers some nice stewed fruit, cocoa complexion, a little bit of minerality, but it's kind of basic. On the palate, I mean, it's nice. It has all of the trademark characteristics I'd be looking for, so nothing amiss there. Just nothing spectacular. Certainly, if I had a colleague visiting from a different part of the world, or I wanted to show somebody something really exciting from Virginia, this would not be my first choice. So I actually scored this 88 plus points. Still not a bad score. I mean, it means it's a competent wine. It's just not the kind of wine where if I was traveling overseas, this would be the wine I'd have to take to show people this is the best of what Virginia has to offer. Now, on the other hand, and I actually don't know the prices of these wines, but they sent me this, which is the Trump New World Reserve. Just says Monticello red wine. Here we go. Merlot, Cab Franc, Cab Sauv, Petit Verdot in order. So what I would assume is that probably in Virginia they actually have a hard time ripening their Cab Sauv. I would assume. So the Merlot probably does a better job. It's also had more age. It's from 2012 and not 2013. But this wine, a whole lot more richness, resonance, complexity. Once again, I don't know what the growing season was like, 12 as opposed to 13. But on this one, there's much more wild herb coming into play. The minerality is much more distinct. And it does have that graphite pencil shaving sort of edge to it, which is really, for those of us who love Bordeaux, that's what we're looking for, because that's Margaux, that's Pauillac, that's the top of the top for Left Bank Bordeaux. And on the palate, shit, that's some serious wine. Brisk acids, well integrated. Maybe a little bit overzealous, but it's still young. Tannins, full, chewy, very well integrated. Not clinky at all. Very professionally done. I gave it 91 points. I think it's exceptional value. I don't know the price, but I figure it's got to be 25, 30 bucks. Just knowing their price structure, I wouldn't imagine it's more than that. So if I was looking for a $30 Bordeaux, that's actually great value. It really is. Yeah. Food pairings. The first wine, very simple. Honestly, serve it with hamburgers. I'm sure that somewhere there's a Trump who's pulling out their hair that I said that, but just because it's a hamburger doesn't mean it has to be bad. You can make your own great hamburgers. Talk to your local butcher, find grass-fed beef from hormone-free animals, blah, 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 and you'll make yourself a burger where you go, holy shit, that tastes really good. So the Trump Meritage hamburgers just make a great burger. Now, the New World Reserve, much more to it. More structure, more zeal, more finesse, so you can do some more involved foods. Yes, of course, it's going to be natural off the barbecue. Brisk acids, so of course we want something that has some fat to it. If you decide you want to do a steak, make sure that you're finishing that steak with something that's got a little bit of fat to it. You can do a compound butter, you can do a hollandaise, or actually a sauce béarnaise, which has got a little bit of tarragon to it. The tarragon is going to emphasize the herbaceous qualities to the wine. Pretty neat stuff. Yeah, neat stuff. Anyways, so that's my opinion of the Trump Reds for this year's release. I hope you do try them because it is, of course, very interesting to be trying wines from an up-and-coming region like Virginia, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I did.